Hi, this is Ed Brenegar, Circle of Impact Leadership. And I have a message for you and your family. And I'd like you to gather your family around the screen because I want to talk to you all as one. So why don't you pause the button, gather them around the screen, and then unpause it. And I'll be glad to give you a few little things that I've been thinking about as I long for my family to be with me, which they are not. So pause the button and come on back. Okay, welcome back, and good to have all of you here. I know this is an awkward sort of thing. You probably have had no one actually want to address the whole family as one in a video like this. Now it's your first time. So I want to say two or three things really simply and really short, just as a kind of way of saying this is really an awkward and unusual and unique time in our history as human beings. In the past, it was not unusual for whole families to be together all day long. But today, that doesn't happen very often. We all go off in our own directions, and we're all living very independent lives, and we, in many respects, we just kind of sleep in the same place together and share some meals together. So let me offer to you three things that I think may be helpful. The first is kind of think about this time of sheltering in place as if you're on a long vacation and you're all stuck in the same car and you're driving across the country and you got to figure out, how are we going to relate to these people who are my family? Well, you do it by talking to one another and telling stories to one another and sharing things. And so the first word I want you to hear is openness. I want you to be open to the other members of your family, open to the things that they like, open to the stories they like to tell, even if they like to tell it 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 times in the same day. Be open to the movies they like to watch, the music they like to watch, the foods they like to eat. Just be open to them and treat this sort of like a cross-cultural experience, because I know in many families this is the way it will be. The second word that I want to use as a way of talking about this time that many of us have is that of respect. And I'm particularly thinking about respecting boundaries. And the respecting of boundaries is that some of us, and many of us, and probably most of us, need some time alone every day. And so if we're always together, it sometimes becomes a difficult thing for us. And so respect those other members of your family, and you respect yourself in needing time alone so that you can think, so that you can rest, so that you can reflect upon what is going on, and so you can understand. So we have times of openness, we have times for respect, our time for aloneness. And the third thing I want to suggest has to do with pacing, the pacing of each and every day. When I do long trips, I typically try to organize every day into 3 parts, morning, afternoon, and evening. And I typically try to establish one of those as a time of kind of a downtime, a time of not hyperactivity. Well, it may be that that's not possible if you're all having to shelter in your own homes. So that maybe what you do is you decide how you're going to spend each of those 3 segments of the day, and that you actually put a plan together so that maybe one of those segments every day is designated as family time, where you're all together and you're going to do something together. You're going to watch a movie, you're going to play a game, do something together as a family, and you're planning that out. And in planning that out, you're being open to other people's ideas, and you're going to respect one another when they say things and they want to do things that just seem crazy and, oh, that sounds so boring. I think this is how we can, as families, get through this time of sheltering in place, this time of great uncertainty because of the pandemic. So this is the sort of thing I think we're going to need to be talking more about as families. And on Thursday of this coming week, I'm hosting a webinar, and it's open to families. And so you could have another situation just like we're doing here, where I'm going to talk about the story we tell ourselves in times of uncertainty. And it's just a simple little technique that I've developed to help people who are going through times of transition where the transition is really difficult and they need something to kind of root themselves in the things that matter to them. So that's what we'll be talking about. And I think it's going to be valuable for everyone in your family. So you can find a link to the where you can sign up for the event below in the minutes or the show notes of this video. So have a good time during this time of sheltering in place, or as I've heard before, a staycation in your own home. Remember, it's openness, respect, and pacing of each and every day. This is Ed Brenegar. Thanks a lot. I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.